Hey guys, so today we're going to tie up one of my favorite single hook streamers. It looks like a bait fish, super easy to tie, and super effective. First thing we're going to do is going to take some lead-free wire. Today I'm using lead-free 0.025. We're going to take it and just do a few wraps behind the eye of the hook. Push that all together. Take our scissors and just cut that close. Once that's in place, we're going to take our thread and just secure it where it needs to be. Just going to do some wraps over top of it. Cut our tag off, and just to make sure nothing slides around on us, coat it with a little bit of super glue. As that super glue is drying, I'm going to take some orange craft fur and I'm going to cut off a pretty big size clump of it. When you cut it off, you're going to get a big section of fuzz down at the bottom and longer wispy fibers up at the top. We're just gonna take and pull out all of that extra stuff that we don't want. So now that's looking much better. It's a lot more thin down at the bottom too, so it'll make it way easier to tie in. So now we're just gonna run our thread down to about the bend of the hook, and we're going to measure out this craft fur. We want it to be a little longer than the shank of the hook. So that looks good about there. So we're just going to do a pinch wrap and then another pinch wrap. And then I'm going to take my thread underneath up to about where my wire is. I'm going to put my craft fur back down and run my thread over top. And then take it back down. That's going to really hold it in place, keep it from moving, and it also gives the body a nice tapered appearance. Now I'm just going to come in and cut this extra craft fur out of the way. And I'm just going to clean everything up a little bit. Make it look a little better. Then I'm going to take some rabbit zonker. I'm using natural in this fly. I already cut a piece off, but I'm gonna measure it one hook shank and then another. And a good way to keep this tight and secure is pull all these fibers back. And if you wet your fingers, you can keep those fibers out of the way without trapping any down when you're tying this in. Go in front of it, and then we're going to make a small dubbing loop. I'm going to take my thread around the loop to tie it off. Now that dubbing loop's nice and tight. Run our thread up to the eye of the hook and get our dubbing. So now all those fibers are brushed down and out of the way. We're just going to clean this up a little bit again. Build a good base. Making sure we don't get too close to the eye of the hook. There's still plenty of room there. It's not too crowded, it's not too bulky. So now we're gonna pull over this rabbit strip. We're gonna tie it in back here. 2 good wraps. And third one pulling it extra tight. Right on the top. We wanna make sure it's centered on the top. Just come in with our scissors, get it all out of the way. Okay, now that's slimmed down, we're just gonna tie it off. And there's a lot going on under that thread right now, so just to add some extra security, I'm gonna throw another dab of super glue on it. Let that dry for a minute, and you can see we're starting to get a good tapered appearance with some different colors in there, looking like a bait fish. And once that super glue is dry, we'll start on the head. So now that that super glue is almost dry, we're going to take our thread to the eye of the hook. And I'm going to add in some laser dub. I'm using Sculpin Olive for this pattern. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good sized clump of it and I'm going to put it right on top of my thread. I'm gonna try not to do too many wraps here. I don't wanna build up too much of a base. But this laser dub that's in the front now, I'm gonna split it so it goes on the sides and on the bottom. So that's the goal with splitting this laser dub. So we'll get it back. Like that, and that'll give it a 360-degree coverage on this fly. And then we're just gonna do a few wraps right at the front. That way it keeps everything pushed back, gives it a nice taper, and locks it in. That bulk that was right here, that helps keep this laser dub up. It'll keep it higher in the water. That way it keeps a higher and more natural looking profile. Now what I'm gonna do is just take some super glue and put it on my thread there. Keep everything pulled back out of the way and just give it 2 wraps. 2 or 3 wraps really hold it down. We're starting to look good. Last step, all I'm gonna do is just a simple whip finish to finish off this fly. Trying not to catch any fibers in these last few wraps. Awesome. Cut our thread off and we'll put some eyes on it. So before we put any eyes on it, we're gonna take our brush and just give it a good brush out. Make sure we're getting rid of any loose fibers. There we go. Now that it's all brushed out, it has a much better looking profile. So I'm just gonna put a dab of super glue on these eyes and stick it on the side. Really push it in tight some gut on that. We'll scrape that off. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Just take your eye, put a dab of super glue on it. And rotary vise is nice because it's a lot easier to line up your eyes. And there you go. There's eyes on both sides now. Our fly is just about complete. You got a good looking profile, good taper to it. Last thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this end of this rabbit strip and just cut a little notch off the end. Try not to cut any of the main fibers on the rabbit strip. And there you go. That is a simple and very productive baitfish pattern. Tie yourself up a few. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys.